Smile 2's out this weekend, and now it's time to talk about some spoilers. This movie had more jump scares than bottles of Voss water. Let's get into this. Welcome to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams, and today we're going to talk about some spoilers from Smile 2. This is not really going to be a full-on review. This is just me wanting to deep dive a little bit more into some of the more spoilery things that popped up in this movie. If you want to hear my actual review for this movie, I got a spoiler-free review right up here, so make sure you go check that out as well. Jumping right into this, and again, I'm going to be talking spoilers. If you have not seen Smile 2, do not continue on. This is your only warning. Alright, so the movie begins with what I feel like is one of the best cold opens for a movie. We immediately open seeing police officer Joel, played by Kyle Gallner, just really dealing with some shit. He's really going through with it, and we see the words pop up in the corner 6 days later. I love that kind of a transition. It's as if the whole thing is just seamless. You could theoretically remove all the production cards and stuff from the beginning of this movie, all of the credits from the end of the last movie, and dive straight into this, going from the end of that movie into this one, and I love how seamless that feels. So right off the bat, we know that we're stuck with Joel, and he's dealing with what happened at the very end of the last movie, witnessing Rose killing herself. So now he's trying to figure out how to get around this, and of course what we learned from the last movie by prisoner Robert Talley, best way to get out of it is for you to kill someone, you who has the curse, to kill someone while someone else watches. Which is going to be hard for Joel because Joel is a cop, so he's essentially going to have to commit murder, which sucks for him. But I mean, again, when you see him at the beginning of this movie, he's just completely lost it. He's a wreck, and all he wants to do is just live, survive, and get rid of this curse. So I can understand the mental faculties that Joel has lost control over to be able to proceed with his life. I like this because, I mean, essentially he's got the plan. He's going into, like, what's a drug home. He's going to kill one criminal in front of another, and then that should pass it off. Unfortunately, things go awry, and he kills the one criminal, and then the other criminal immediately grabs a gun and starts shooting, and with Joel being a cop, or at this point, probably a former cop, let's be honest, with him being a cop, his natural instinct is to return fire, and so he shoots who's supposed to be the witness. What I like about this is expanding to the lore. All we knew from the first movie is what Rose herself was going through, and then this possible loophole to find your way out of it given by Robert Talley. Now we have another addendum to how this smile curse creature thing works, which is funny because this is right in the face of Matt Pat's film theory.
Taking you, your curse, and two of your closest, most expendable friends to a remote location. Step 1, brutally off the first of your two travel mates. That should pass the curse on to your second friend, which leads us to step number 2, bump that one off as well. The curse dies with him, and so does the only witness to your crime.
While this movie is setting up the idea that he killed the one criminal, then he accidentally killed the second criminal, that's leaving the entity nowhere else to go except back into him. With the twist that we also get drug dealer Lucas is also in the shack. He's in the back. We didn't know he was there. Joel didn't know he was there. He's not armed. He's not trying to attack or anything. So now we've got this curse essentially passed over to him, leaving Joel scot-free, with the exception that he's being hunted and chased down by the criminal's associates. And he ends up getting hit by the truck, and we move into the title card of the movie. I love it. It was a great cold open. It's a really good way to just get you right back into the thick of it and get all that adrenaline and all that anxiety built back up for the movie that we're about to be blessed with. The next point that I would like to look at is the kids' charity scene. Basically, Sky Riley is asked by her, I guess, like the owner of her record label, to come stop by and speak at a children's charity event. And right off the bat, the second that he said that, you can already foretell what's going to happen, that she's going to be losing her mind and it's going to be all kinds of weirdness. And this is basically taking that the kid's birthday party scene from the first movie, where Rose thought she was gift wrapping a train and she actually gift wrapped her dead cat. And we're getting that all over again. So it's like, this is one of those major set pieces that this franchise is going to use if they continue on, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, this one we get it where she is hallucinating while she's trying to give a speech. The teleprompter's not working, and she just has to come up with what she's saying off the top of her head, and she's losing her mind. On top of that, she's also seeing a hallucination of her former boyfriend, Paul Hudson, played by Ray Nicholson, who looks exactly like his father. Let's be honest, it's why he's all over the marketing with that creepy smile. Looks like straight out of The Shining. But she sees this hallucination and it's just driving her insane. She accidentally knocks over an older woman, knocks her off the stage. And we're just, again, it's a whole scene meant to show off how she's losing her mind to everyone else around her. Her mom, her record label, her assistant, like all these people just realizing that she's not right in the head. And with Sky Riley being a character who has admitted to being a former drug addict, it's bringing up all these thoughts. You could tell that, like, that's what Sky is afraid of, that everyone's thinking that she's going to be on drugs again when she's actually not, and no one's going to believe her, which is basically how horror movies tend to go generally. And then let's get into what essentially is the pride and joy of this movie, and that is the jump scares. Typically, I'll be honest, I'm not someone who is easily susceptible to jump scares. And that's not like me trying to brag or say like, hey, I'm better at watching horror movies than you are. I don't jump. No, I've watched so many of these, and the way my mind works is I'm used to it. When you put on a horror movie, you are automatically in the frame of mind that you're not going to jump. You know things are going to be structured and intended to make you jump, but you just don't jump. You pick up on the subtle cues like a quiet scene or situation, the lack of background noise or music, things really building up tension. You know there's going to be a jump scare that's about to happen typically. So that being said, I usually don't jump. I love going to a movie theater, especially like a horror movie opening night, with a crowd full of people, and then watching everyone else jump in their chairs while I get to just sit there and laugh. I think it's fun. I enjoy it. It's my personal way of being able to be entertained by this movie and how this movie is meant to entertain an audience. I just love that. This movie, I'm going to be truthful, it got me. It got me twice. There were a couple of good ones on here that it was so well done. What I do like, first of all, is for the most part, the good jump scares of this movie weren't spoiled in the trailer, so to speak. There is a final trailer that I didn't realize came out at around the same time I went to go see Smile 2, and so once I've seen the movie, I'm not really watching the trailer, except one of these two jump scares is in that final trailer. Basically, the way this movie plays out is Sky's trauma is a car accident that we learned throughout the course of the movie she actually caused, and that's what killed her ex-boyfriend. So she's dealing with the trauma of that, plus the guilt of being the one who caused that car accident to begin with. So we are shown a scene where her former friend Gemma is basically staying the night, trying to comfort Sky, make sure everything's okay. Sky wakes up in the middle of the night after having like kind of like a nightmare or a night terror, and sees Gemma sleeping next to her. Gemma wakes up and just sits there and smiles at Sky, and then we are given a quick shot to the face of Gemma's face, but it looks like there's like car headlights coming from behind her eyes and her mouth. It's just her face is eerily lit with like you get like car horns blaring, and like it's very indicative of a car accident. And I love that because that's not what I was expecting. When I'm expecting jump scares, I'm expecting something like,
I think it's time for me to step up and just... Oh, what? Oh, sorry about that. I sneezed. No, you did not.
and then you just move on with your life. Like, it's nothing really that big or over the top, but I felt like this was very, very good at trying to get you rattled, to get you unnerved. The second one was closer to like the big finale scene. Sky's in the freezer. She's about to undergo this procedure to essentially stop her heart. She gets attacked by the entity that is copying her, and then at one point this entity is hovering over her. We see Sky's worried face looking up at this entity, and then we get the shot of this entity just staring down at Sky and the camera with the biggest eyes possible. When I was a kid, what really scared me was anything that was outside of normal. Like, it wasn't like, say, like watching vampires or a Wolfman or anything per se. It was seeing images of things that I'm used to seeing where proportions are out of whack, specifically eyes. Now all of a sudden this jump scare is a quick cut to this creature, a close-up of this creature's face with these abnormally huge eyes, and it's just freaking me out. So that one also got me. And here's like, I actually kind of like it. I miss having a jump scare be that effective for me. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Did you have any other jump scares that I'm not covering here? Because those were the main two that got me. Let me know your thoughts. Did anything else get you? Let me know down below in the comments. Again, while you're down there, make sure you hit like and subscribe. You know, the YouTube stuff. The other big thing to talk about is the ending to this. Yes, we went into this whole freezer situation thinking this was going to be the end, kind of like the first movie when Rose is trying to seclude herself in this cabin. She's dealing with this hallucination of her mom. This mom becomes this entity creature that is trying to shove itself down Rose's mouth, down her throat. So we're thinking that that's what this is going to be, but then it transitions into Sky being on stage for the opening night of her tour. And the second that we see that she's on stage, I'm immediately like, oh my god, she's going to kill herself in front of all of these people in the audience, and they're all going to be cursed. I was like, this is wild. For those of you who may have seen Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, a slight spoil on that one, but I mean, it's not a highly liked movie anyway, so probably not a big deal. Kind of the same thing that movie deals with is that there's a curse that's being passed on from person to person. At the end of that movie, they play Truth or Dare through like a YouTube live stream, so therefore passing off that Truth or Dare curse to everyone across the world who was watching that live stream, or possibly even re-watching it on a replay later. So we've got that kind of an idea happening here. I believe they're at, I want to say it was Madison Square Garden is what it looked like that the first show was at. So you're easily dealing with probably an audience of like 100,000 people. She seems to be almost as popular as like a Taylor Swift is in real life. So there's a lot of people at this concert that are probably now carrying on that curse. I am curious at this point as to how this is going to translate if they were to do a Smile 3. I feel like a Smile 3 is inevitable. This movie was fantastic. I think this movie really makes everything bigger. It really expands upon the ideas and the things we saw in the first movie. Like, the story is bigger and bolder, the characters are more fleshed out, the gore is more gory, and like all the jump scares, everything is just super elevated in this movie. And I'm wondering how you do that with a third movie. Are we just following one or two people from this entire crowd? Are we hearing about like a global apocalypse? Because I mean, with you have a crowd of that many people, this is going to be a curse that is going to spread worldwide real quick. And especially because this curse seemingly has a week-long fuse. So a week after this concert, this world is going to go to shambles real quick, and then it's going to continue in succession every week from then on, because all of these people are infecting other people, and you never know, they may get into situations where each individual person is also affecting a room or a group of people. So it could be expanded upon or exponentially growing with each and every time someone is unaliving themselves. So I'm curious as to where they're going to go with this. I would also like to possibly get some more backstory on the actual origin of this creature. Where is this creature coming from? Why does it do what it does? That would be kind of fascinating to hear, but I also I'm torn with the idea of leave it a mystery. That's what makes this good, is we so far don't know anything about it. Much like the Terrifier movies, we don't know exactly what's causing Art the Clown. Are we going to be told what he is? Are we going to be told what this smile curse is? We don't know yet. And I don't know if they're going to. So I'm torn on wanting to hear it, but maybe not, for the sanctity of the movie to be as entertaining as it is. Anyways, that's just a couple of things that I saw in this movie that I absolutely loved. I can't wait to watch this movie again, even with those jump scares, because, I mean, essentially, I jumped when they happened, so I was too busy being in my mind going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, instead of being able to sit there and abstractly look at this movie and like, oh, that was cool, that was amazing. So yeah, I can't wait to see this again. Did you see Smile 2 this weekend? Are you planning on seeing it? You just wanted to know what some of the spoilers were to give yourself a heads up before you go to it? Let me know down below in the comments. Again, while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe. Come back. We're doing some fun things over here on Cinefanatics, so we're going to continue on, and we would love for you to be a part of it. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are at The Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You could follow me personally at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, and YouTube.com/@RCA Reacts. Thank you for watching this. We very much appreciate each and every one of your views. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Don't do that when you have really big teeth. Not pretty.